If you are a boring, nice man, don't date. You're gonna get used, whether it be intentionally or unintentionally, but you're gonna get used.
I love dating boys. I just don't want to settle.
Do you provide security? You're boring. There is no spice, no sauce. It's just goodness.
I had guys who are amazing, and I'm sure that they would treat me amazing, but I don't have feelings for them.
Do you like bad boys?
Yes.
Okay.
Brother, you got your passport?
I am working on that.
Man, get your passport and start traveling. Man, the moment you travel.
Greetings, you polite savages, and welcome to another Tip Talk. So let's just get right into it. I was looking at a show on a Philip Scott podcast. Philip Scott's also a member of the African Diaspora News Channel, 1.14 million subscribers. You should check it out. And he had a really interesting take. He had a gentleman on there who was well-to-do, worked in the medical field, was making an upwards of $250,000, $260,000 a year, but still claimed that women did not see him as enough.
That's another thing. I consider myself a professional brother. In my circle of friends are professional brothers, and I'm the lowest earner in my professional group, and I earn over just a little bit north of $260K. And let me tell you something, us professional, our sisters have turned their backs on us. For whatever reason, they view how we move is somehow not exciting.
Well, how can that be? The truth is this. Women have always been selective and wanted the top percentage of men, but in the past, the top percentage of men also came with providing, provisioning, and lifestyle. But now it seems like to them, the visual is so much important. These attributes that are whittling the human population down to 3 or 5% are so important that it's just impossible for an average man or even an above average man, in this case, a 1%er, to keep up. And thus, people are exploring options in other places. Now, of course, you have to have evidence when you say that these women only want a small percentage of men in the United States. But throughout every race, between 20 and 29, only a small percentage of men have children. Black men being amongst the smallest of them, or the smallest demographic. Only 12.4% of African American men in the United States have children between the ages of 20 and 29. And that shrinks down to 3% between 15 and 19. What does that mean? That means that only less than 20% of the men in that age group are producing all the babies.
Let's be honest, guys. If you're an RP dude, you understand the Petro principle, the 80-20 rule. 80% of women want 20% of the men. It's only getting worse. So, like it or not, high value, no matter how you slice it, is here to stay, and it's always been with us. Alpha, beta, select, non-select, popular, non-popular.
The Passport Bro movement is an anomaly to the people who started it, meaning that they don't quite understand why and how this could happen so quickly. They've gone through all phases of shame, insults, and guilt to the need to be right. And modern women has done everything except look at themselves and wonder, am I the reason why this has started?
Modern women lack the self-awareness and empathy for men to realize that the situation is getting worse for them. I've mentioned to Grover about how I see Black culture as a trendsetter and massively influential in society and all around the world. That the strong, independent, need no man attitude, spearheaded by Black women, is spreading to women of all races, unfortunately. Just look at the delusion and how modern women rate themselves.
Everyone to rate their looks on a scale of 1 to 10.
I'd give myself a 10.
I'm a 10. I'm a catch.
Yeah, I'm a 10 too.
I'd say a 10. Life's too short to hate yourself.
Did you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10?
I'm a 10.
A 10? That's like flawless though.
Yeah, I am flawless. I'm a 10. I'm a 10. I'm a 10. I'm a 10. I'm a 10.
Somebody's lying. In which the second group of women, being younger, just by a little bit, surprisingly gave themselves a lower score, but not by much.
I think I'm a 7 or an 8 maybe.
Same, I would say like 8.
I think I'm a 9.
I believe I'm an 8.
Solid 8.5.
7, 8.
I'm a 10 and every girl here is a 10. Believe I'm a 10, look at me, I'm a catch.
Now look at this next young lady in her own delusional behavior. How she wants the highest value man to cater and submit himself to her to grovel beneath her feet.
I'm independent, but I'm tired of it. I look crusty right now, but this is my worst look, and this is my best look. I can make bomb-ass Spotify playlists. I am wifey material. I'm looking for a tall man, a goofy man, a golden retriever that will simp for me. Worship the ground I walk on.
Doesn't her attitude, lack of self-awareness, and expectations sound all so familiar? This is happening and spreading at an alarming rate, where all women from different ages, from different races, are being affected by this same sickness. Passport bros is the natural response to this madness that is happening, and sounding the alarm for all men to get their passports and start looking abroad. Women lack empathy for the plights and issues that men face every day. Women believe that the average man is equal to the average woman in the dating market. With the advent of social media and technology that leverages a woman's sensuality, we know that this is absolutely false.
Men specifically are always engaging in hookup culture, and then like when a woman engages in hookup culture, it's like, oh, she's a slut, she's this, she's that. But men, they've been doing it forever.
But speaking just looks, average men do not have access to hookup culture, whereas like 90% of women have access to hookup culture. Average women can hook up super easy, whereas average men can't. Basically 80% of the women are all chasing after the top 10, top 20% of men.
Reinforcing the Pareto principle as said earlier by Kevin Samuels. And after many conversations with women from a range of ages, young to old, there's a lack of understanding with how women have the upper hand and leverage in the dating market.
There's a lot of trashy guys out here.
Why are they trashy?
Oh, so many ways.
Does that mean that you're not even hooking up with anybody?
Oh, I'm hooking up with people.
When you say you're hooking up with people, do you mean multiple people?
Yes.
How big is your roster?
As of currently, I'm just hooking up with like 2-3 people.
Today, I fucked 2 guys, and they were friends, and I fucked them within hours of each other.
You can't make up. Y'all heard it.
The hypocrisy is astounding, with trashing men while women avoid looking in the mirror at their own behaviors and actions. Women's sensual liberation is great for guys like myself, because I will take advantage of it if they're willing and able, then I'm willing and able to serve them their needs. But I'll have to say this, can you really take modern women seriously for long-term relationships if they have a mindset, mentality towards their own sensuality like that, to be giving it away as they please? Is it helpful to create strong nuclear families to ensure the survival of our society? And how can you trust a toxic modern woman calling men trash, yet sleeping around with the whole campus, with multiple partners at the same time, with complete disregard to what that effect would do to her and how she views men? By that logic, she is willing to give her body to so-called trashy guys, opening her legs and giving herself away, but somehow she does not recognize that she is contradicting herself. Make it make sense.
Number one thing we hear is that there's no good men out there, but we have such available men. And the truth is that women walk past good men all along. And why do they walk past them? Because these men have been deemed undesirable. They're the nerds, the blurs. They're the Steve Urkels and the Childish Gambinos before they were popular. They were the guys who were watching Afro Samurai and they said, hey, that's goofy.
I've also had guys who are amazing and I'm sure that they would treat me amazing, but I don't have feelings for them.
And you're not attracted to them? Well, isn't it interesting that the guys that you're attracted to happen to be the guys that you say they're not treating you well,
right,
or they're kind of playing
fall in
you?
line with, I would say that they're exciting.
Would you say they're jerks?
Yes.
Are you attracted to jerks? Do you like bad boys?
Yes.
Okay.
Modern women are mentally blind to their own contradictions, their fallacies, their weaknesses. They lack self-awareness, unfortunately. They are the agent of their own self-sabotage of obtaining stable, loving relationships, chase after men that they complain about, that they call F-boys.
You mentioned that there were guys who they were interested in you,
yeah,
and you had the impression that they would actually be perfectly dutiful boyfriends.
Yes.
But you're just not attracted to them.
Absolutely. 100%.
So how?
Gotcha, this mindset in America, in the Western world, is a sickness. It is deviant, and we do not want it. This is why I'm going to return to Africa. We are going to enjoy the good fruit.
They are so addicted to these type of guys, willing to sacrifice good men, sacrifice the average guy that's willing to devote himself to her. It defies all logic.
You should be dating multiple people and raising your standards. I love dating boys. It's a lonely place when you value your self-respect.
You value your self-respect.
You know, your time and your energy. I just don't want to settle.
Well, these goofy guys have grown up to be engineers and doctors and lawyers. You're still chasing the guy who just breaks all the rules, and you'll break all the rules for him. And that's okay. But what you can't do is sit here and scratch your head and wonder why men have chosen to go abroad. I'm taking time to talk to you. This is Big Uncle Grover talking to you. I'm taking time to talk to you ladies and talk to some of you fellas so y'all can understand what's going on. Because we also have men white knighting for ladies, talking bad about passport bros when it's none of your damn business. But I seen El Wapo say one, shout out to Beautiful Lies podcast. He said that the biggest threat to men are the white knights. You know, Kevin Samuels tried to warn women. He tried to tell you that, listen, you're coming with a lot of extra baggage nowadays. You're coming with unresolved trauma. You're coming with maybe some kids by another man. You're coming with a high body count, and you can't come with all of that and have a poor attitude and not want to get on a man's program. It just doesn't make sense. And the biggest thing about this video that I was watching is that this guy who's put together, who makes $260,000 a year, who's professional, who's well-spoken, he says, excuse me, ma'am, when he met this lady and they went on a date and she said, listen, you have to understand that my kids come as a package deal. Where have we heard this bull before? The other bull, I'm a package deal. And then he said, but so how was the baby's father involved in his life? Oh, I haven't seen the kid in 5 years. And he says, why are you trying to require more from me than you are requiring from the person who made that child? And it was such a good question. But what happened is that she just sat there, jumped deeper to her sign language and said, well, if you just can't afford it, just don't say so. Did she have an idea that she was talking to a man that made $260,000? The utter stupidity. And what she did was she blocked her own blessings. And how many single mothers are there? About 67%. 67% of single mothers in this place. Also using blackdemographics.com, you could see, referring to African-American men, that 33% of them are married and 52% have never been married. So you have 52% of the population all the way up to the age of 45 that's never been married. That man was interested in her, and with her mouth, with her attitude, she drove him away. And what's happened now?
Me and 4 other brothers that were sitting around and listening to the sisters talk about that there are not enough good black men around, and we were sitting around looking at each other like, really? Y'all gonna just say that with us sitting here?
Now men are being driven abroad. And now where Kevin Samuels, God bless the dead, has gone, when he was trying to put couples together, now you see men like Zoom to Thailand, Kings and Dreams, Tailor-Made Dreams, Escape from the Matrix, and QB Passport Flexing, The Andrew Show, and a bunch of other passport bros making videos about their experiences, their life, and letting you know that there's more out there to exercise your options. This is just a reaction. There was a glitch in the Matrix. There was a breakdown of communication. And what were the brothers supposed to do? And don't think the passport bros are just bros. The passport bros is men of every race who are coming to the exact same idea. Scott called me earlier and we were talking on the phone and he said, you know, Grover, when Black Americans do it, they set the trend, and you will see other people start being louder and prouder about going overseas looking for a mate. And you can't lie on everybody. You can't say everybody's going over there to do something nefarious. It is just what it is.
As you can see, men, that there is more in common with each other than what we previously had thought. That this madness of the unrestricted sensual liberation, third wave feminism of modern women is affecting women of all generations and ages. You're seeing this take effect at the college level. And as they age and they begin to hit the wall, it manifests itself into strong, independent, need no man attitude. What's saddening is that these women don't realize that men have multiple options to be able to go abroad like you passport brothers. that foreign women are willing to be fit, feminine, beautiful, and inspirational to the password bros. So guys, do not limit yourself here having to deal with women like this. And I'm sure there's a few women out there that are still marriage material, but sometimes the path of least resistance is getting one's passport and flying to a new country and exploring new cultures to be accepted by women that want to get in relationships with the average guy, like you and I.
Well, that's all I have for you folks tonight. I hope you take care of yourselves. I hope you polite savages get it in there, get your money up, do what you got to do, and live that good life. And ask yourself one burning question as always. Can you handle the tip? Because we always go all in. Boom. This is G. I'm out. This is the Happiness Podcast. I'm Grover.
Oh, yeah, it's my turn. I'm Scotty.
This motherfucker right here, boy. Leave your comments and like and subscribe on YouTube. Booty in your face.
We found true happiness.